Hello everyone, my name is Sick and welcome back to the fourth video for the community project series, where we are creating a mission where people can come up with suggestions for side missions. So one of the new suggestions that I've received was to kind of make a steal the car version of this on this map, and as a reward we could maybe get some support from local pirates. So yeah, I like the idea of it and I'm going to try to implement it. And I've been looking around the island for an interesting location to put the fuel vehicle that we are going to have to steal. And my idea was to bring players into this little town a little bit more, and specifically this industrial building over here. Right? Because that thing seems pretty hard to reach. Well, you could sneak in through the back, I suppose. But yeah, you're going to have to drive it out of there. Like, you probably can't back it up this way, so you're going to have to drive out along here, and the only real problem I've seen so far is that none of the road networks in the center of the map actually connect up to the road that I want the player to bring the vehicle towards, because we have an open area over here with a lighthouse, and this is where I figured I would hide the pirates that you can talk to for this quest. My idea is to keep this quest hidden from the start of the mission, and that you can encounter it if you decide to start in this area, because that's another thing I want to do in this video. I want to create several starts for the player, but giving him the ability to choose where he's going to start, because the start of the mission is going to take place on the carrier ship, which we have over here. And from there, I want the player to choose, or be able to choose by radio where he wants to start. And he can start off here somewhere, or maybe here. He could start here, and he could start up here somewhere. And if he starts up here, he might encounter the pirate and get this quest, for example. So, that's the first thing that we're going to do, I guess. And what we need to do is, I'm going to make some empty boats. Right, let's see, we should have some boats. Yeah, here we go. Assault boat, rescue boat, speedboat. Well, we're not going to use a speedboat. We want to have a stealthy entry. And let's see, do we have an interesting location to land here? Well, plenty of interesting locations, and this actually looks really beautiful. He did such a great, like, whoever made this map did such a great job. Like, I can't remember his name right now, but it's really well done. This might not be the best of landing locations, however, so that's a little bit interesting. You could land over here, I guess, or over there. But it's up to the player, I suppose. We're just going to place down some boats. So we will place it without crew. We will have an assault boat, and we will place one down right there. Going to point it in the right direction. We're going to call this boat 1, right? So then we're going to need a second boat, and I'm thinking, well, we have a lot of rocky coastline here. A lot of it, basically all around. So landing by boat is going to be a little tricky, maybe, but this seems like it's doable. So let's create another assault boat, point it in the right direction. We will call this boat 2. And then finally, I guess we should have one over here as well, somewhere. Maybe right there. And this is of course going to be boat 3. Wait. Oh, it just disappeared from view. Maybe because we're too high up. For a second there I thought it was just gone from the mission entirely, but it was still in the list. Alright, so we're going to be starting over here, and we're going to create several triggers for this. Let's see, we will have a trigger right there. We're going to call it, let's see, Radio 1A, something like that. Activation is going to be Radio Alpha, and the text is going to be, let's see, now I need to look. Boat 1 is over here. it's in the north. So this text is going to be start north, and the text is the text that shows up when you open up the radio menu, right? So in condition, it's simply going to say this. It's not going to be repeatable. On activation, we want player move in cargo. No, actually driver boat 1. Then we're going to need A1 move in cargo boat 1. And let's see, how many guys do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So I'm just going to copy and paste this. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we can test this out. Alright, so we're on the carrier ship, and I can open up the radio menu. For now it's called Alpha for some reason, maybe I missed something. Interesting, but when we press it, we are now in the boat, and for some reason we're the only guys in the boat. I guess we don't have cargo in here. Maybe we need a separate command or a different command, so I'm going to have to check that out. Alright, I found a problem. I made a really stupid mistake of not naming my guys yet. So now I named all of these guys. We have A1 until 5, and this will work. I will move into driver, everybody else will move in cargo. Now, another thing that we want to do is we want to delete vehicle boat 2. And of course, we're going to use the same thing for boat 3. We don't need those anymore. Now, let's see. We are in here, we can start this. Now everybody is in here, and for some reason, Destroy the AAF helicopters actually signed off. And I have no idea why. That's an interesting thing. I realize why. We have 2 radio alphas. So once I radio alpha, it's also destroyed the helicopters. So we can destroy this one. And yeah, maybe that also fixes the problem of our text not showing up. Right, let's see. Start north. This is what should be displayed. So let us check one more time. Yes, now it's called Start North. Cool. Now, this looks pretty damn weird. You know, it doesn't look good to have this sharp of a transition. So we're going to want to try to do something about this. And what I want to do is I want to have a delay where we will fade the screen out to black, then we will move, and then we will fade back out into, you know, our normal view. Now we need some things for this, like a few bits of code, and I'm going to have to look them up real quick, but then we'll start making some changes to this little system. Alright, so I found a little bit of text, and we're going to use this. Title text, bracket, 2 quotation marks, and in here you can actually have a bit of text, like a little later. Black in is going to be the effect of the black screen fading to black, and this is the time it takes to do it. So if we change this to 5, it should take around 5 seconds. A little later, like so. Alright, but this is of course a little bit strange. It doesn't really look good. So we're going to make a second trigger here. We're going to call this, let's see, what was the other one called? Radio 1B. Condition is trigger activated. Radio 1A. Of course there's going to be a slight delay. Or yeah, let's see, let's make this 5 seconds I suppose. And then we're going to copy a part of what we did here. All the movement basically is all of this stuff can go into the new trigger. All of this stuff it can actually stay. Maybe we should do black out instead, because that was a weird effect, right? So we will have this This will activate after 5 seconds. Maybe we should do this after 6 seconds instead, because the fade out is going to take 5 seconds, so the screen will be entirely black before this happens. And then everybody will be moved. And then we're going to copy this over here. This is going to be radio 1C. This is going to be radio 1B. And then, of course, we're going to open up the first trigger. We're going to copy this. And actually, this thing doesn't need to be here, because that is going to look weird. We could use it, however, in this one. And then, of course, we're going to use black in instead of black out. So, let's see what this looks like now. Alright, we're on the ship, start north. We fade to black, it takes about 5 seconds. We can play with this, of course. We are moved into the ship, I hope, into the boat, and then we should fade back in. A little later. And now we're in the ship. And we can drive around. And we can pick our entry points. Alright. So, we're going to copy this, of course. We're going to paste it over here, because we're going to want to use this a second time. This is going to be radio 2A. This is going to be radio 2B. Oh. And this is going to be radio 2C. And of course this needs to be a 2 as well. Right, then this is going to be radio Bravo. And let's see, we have boat number 2. Let's see, where's boat number 2? This is boat number 3. Boat number 2 is to the south. So we'll open this up. We will change this, of course, and then of course we are also going to change boat 2 to boat 1. So we will delete both vehicle boat 3 and boat 1, and we will of course move into boat 2, which is over here. A bit of a nuisance, but it's quicker than setting up everything anew. You just need to make sure that you don't miss any of this when you do this yourself. Alright, so all of this is boat 2. And this can stay as it is right now. And maybe we could do some different timings as well. But let's see. This is fine. Let's copy and paste this. Do it one more time. And then this is of course going to be radio 3A. It is going to be radio Charlie. And this is start east, I guess. And then of course we're going to delete vehicle 2 and 1. Now this is going to be radio 3B. It's going to look for radio 3A. And it's going to move everyone into boat 3. Oh. Like so. And then finally, this can stay the way it is, except this needs to be radio 2B or 3B. Yeah. And this is of course going to be radio 3C. Now we should have in the list radio 1B, radio 1C, 2B, 2C, 3B, 3C, and radio 1A, radio 2A, and radio 3A. Alright. Save this, we can test it. Right, so we have 3 options now. We can start to the south. And again, I think we should really mess with these settings a little bit, because this is quite long to test. Need a bit of patience. We are missing 6. Interesting. Did I forget you? He is still on the ship, but we are in front of the island. Let's see. Is there no room for number 6, maybe? I think the boat might be full. Yeah. Because you see, when 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, we have 6 people in total. And the 6th person doesn't come along, but I'm pretty sure I used a 5 as well. Yeah. Alright, so we have slightly too many people. And we also have too many spaces, which is something I've just noticed. Doesn't really matter because the code still works, but oh well. A5 needs to go. Let's see, you are A5. He is the paramedic, which is bad. We have a demo specialist, JTAC, marksman, and a rifleman AT. So I guess JTAC is going to be our paramedic. Alright. We could also set all of these guys to playable, but we don't want to do that. Or at least I don't want to do that, because I want the player to value his life, and I don't want him to switch to something else if he dies. Alright, so now that all of this is done, we can start in several locations, but of course we do need markers as well. So let's see, we could have... well, this is the ending, but where's the start? Start, there it is, alright. So we have our ship. I guess we can't put it on the map over here. So we'll just use it over here. South start. Start south. Color will be blue, I guess. We will use east start. And this will be, of course, start east. And we will have north start. Yeah. Start north. Alright, and all of these can be linked in an objective, which actually reminds me, we can link an objective to this as well, if we really need to, because that way it is immediately apparent for the player what we need to do. So, actually, yeah, let's go about doing that as well. We will have intel. We will create a task. Choose start. Choose start. Title. Choose where you want to start. And we can change the type as well, but we don't really need to. You have several options available to you. You can start to the south, north, or the east of Gorgona. Choose carefully. Right. So destination doesn't need to be visible. It needs to be all playable units. And then we also want to have a task state for succeeded. And actually, we want several. We want 3 of those. And I guess we will put one here. We'll put one there, and we will put one there. And we will also set a task state for assigned. Because I want to have this one be assigned at the start of the mission. So, let's see, let's connect these up. I think this would be the way to work, or for it to work. So let's sync this to that one. And we want a trigger, let's see, of 10 by 10, and I can place it down. Well, it's a bit weird placement. Let's drag this up, yeah. And I will place this where we know there will always be some OP4 present. Like right here. So activation will be OP4 present. There will be a slight delay of 3 seconds. And we will call this, let's see, start 1. And right, and then we will link this to, let us see, the get task state. And that means that after 3 seconds, after the start of this mission, this task will be assigned. And then of course we need to hook these up to each one respectively. So we can hook this one up to that one to that one, and that one to that one. Let's have a final test. Alright, task assigned. Choose where you want to start. Doesn't show us exactly where, because we can have 3 different locations, so a location for this task doesn't make any sense. But now, we should probably also refer to the radio menu as a hint, like look in the radio menu, and of course we should put it in the briefing as well. But let's see, now we want to start east. The screen goes black. And a little bit later it's going to fade back in again. And we have our task completed. Choose where you want to start. And this also means that the other boats should now be deleted. And we can check that by using the camera. And we can fly around a little bit. But it is so slow. It is really slow. So I'm not going to bother. It should work. Alright. So now that we have our start options available to us and ready, it's time to look at our next objective, which is the steal the car mission. So we need to go to objects, independent, boat, no, not boat, car, sorry, and we will have a Samak fuel. We will place it down right here. I think this will be the best location for it. Actually, what the hell? Interesting. Why are you starting over here? Like, into the ground. That doesn't make any sense. It should just hook up to the terrain. I guess I turned that off. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe I pressed the wrong button for it. There is a bit of a snap. I guess this snapped into position. Okay, so we will call this Fuel Truck 1. Alright. We will also have a civilian. Let's see. Commoner in shorts. I guess it doesn't really matter which one. We can always change this later. We're going to place him down right there. Again, I want to reward the player for exploration, so if you see something interesting off in the distance, there should be something interesting there for you to do. So in the case of this, you can see from pretty far away there's a lighthouse, and well, if you check it out, there should be a reward. So we have our civilian, and we're going to call him Pirate 1. Right. So what we want to do here, I think, is use a trigger of 100 by 100. We will open this up. We will do up 4, detected by civilian. Let's see, pirate seas, like so. 1. Condition is just going to be this. And then we will have Pirate 1 global chat. And this is important because up until now I've only used side chat. And that means that only the people on your side will actually see those messages. So if Pirate 1 would use side chat, it would mean that I, as an up4 player, would not be able to see it. I would only be able to see it if I'm a civilian as well. So with global chat, everybody can see it. Hey, CSAT guys, come over here. Right. Maybe we just need to change this as well. Maybe we should just change this to up for being present, because he might not actually notice us. And actually, I think what we should also do is, let's see, we will go to this sentry over here. Ooh. And we will copy and paste this. so that we are sure that he will not move, he will not run, he will not go prone or do anything weird. Right. So, now that we are in range, you know, actually maybe this should be a little bit lower. 40 maybe, because if the player comes up from here, then this guy, you know, he should not be able to see you through those bushes, and I guess, you know what? Fuck it. We're not going to bother with all of this. We're going to say 10 by 10. Right. Good. I have a proposition for you. Right. So, need another trigger. Pirate sees 2. Trigger activated. Pirate sees 1. Okay. Pirate 1, global chat. I have my mates out at sea. No, not sea. Not sea. Sea. They might be willing to help with your task, but not for free. Now we're going to copy and paste this. Pirate sees 3, Pirate sees 2, and actually we forgot about the little delay. We need that as well. And this, of course, on the third trigger is going to change to there is a fuel truck that we want you to steal. It's located in, what the hell is this called? Gorgona Scalo. And again, this is placeholder text. I'm going to change this later on. But for now, we just need some information, some basic stuff. Alright, systems. We will create a task. And for now, I'm going to place it over here. We're going to set task state as well. And actually, I'm going to use another task state. Let's see, create task. Steal car. Steal car. Steal a fuel truck for the pirates. There's a pirate faction in Gorgona. They might be willing to take on the AAF in return for a favor. Of course, module position is going to be true for this one. This will be all playable units. This task state will be assigned. This one will be succeeded. Alright. We will hook these up like so. Let's see. This create task will be linked to our first trigger. This was assigned. We will link that up to the third trigger. As for task state, the succeeded one, we're going to need something for that as well. So we're going to create another trigger. We will make this 100 by 100. And we should set this to anybody present. And then we will have fuel truck 1 in this list. That should work. And then we will have pirate 1 global chat. You did it. Great work. We will do something more with this later on. But let's see. This will be fuel truck present. And of course, this will be hooked up to succeeded. Alright. I think in order to test this, we're going to try something. Let's see, we have our truck. Instead of driving it all the way over here, I'm just going to place it on the road, just outside of the trigger area. And then we're going to start from here. Alright. Task assigned, choose where you want to start, but first we have our pirates. I have a proposition for you. I have my mates out at sea. They might be willing to help you with your task, but not for free. There is a fuel truck that we want you to steal. It's located in Gorgonaskello. This task is now assigned. It is still assigned here because we need to drag the car or the objective over in that direction. But for now, we can test this mission. So, we will get in. Task completed. Steal a fuel truck for the pirates. Alright. So, back to the editor. We are of course going to need another system here, which is another task state. This time for failure, because this truck might be destroyed after all. So we will create a trigger. We're going to call it truck kill 1. And in condition, we're going to look for the alive state for the fuel truck 1. SL1 side chat. Fuck, the fuel truck is gone. Now we won't get any more help. Like so. And of course we can check this out as well. Yeah, let's see. I'm going to create another trigger, just a quick one. For radio Delta. And on activation, fuel truck 1, set damage 1. Alright. Another test. Task graded, steal a fuel truck for the pirates. Task assigned, choose where you want to start. Yeah, these things are running into each other a little bit, but that's not a problem. This is not going to happen during the regular mission, of course. Alright, so now that we have our objective, let's blow this thing up. Fuck, the fuel truck is gone, now we won't get any more help. Ah, actually, we didn't link this stuff. So we have our task. Let's link this to that one. This is the radio Delta. So we need truck kill 1. Let's hook it up to that one. And now this one can go. This will work fine. So actually we should get all 4 of these guys and then we will drag them over to where we need them to be. Let's see. Jesus. Alright. So we will put our trigger over here. We will have our task state over here. Let's see. What's this one again? Failure. For the truck being destroyed. Right. Then we have assigned and succeeded, who are linked up to the triggers over there. Let's see. What else do we need to do? We have failure states, we have succeeded states. Now, of course, we need some pirates as well. So, my idea was that these pirates could help us attack the main base. And I want this to be linked up to a trigger as well. I'm not sure, because now that I'm looking at the outline of our island, it might be very tricky for the AI to actually decide where to come onto land and help us out. So, we might be better off with hiding the pirates somewhere. But where? Over here somewhere, maybe. This could be okay. End of the road. But we would have to make sure that these pirates are not there until we actually finish this objective. That could be tricky. but not impossible. So let me think for this. Let me think about this for a little while. Alright, so I thought about it a little bit, and I've got a solution that's pretty crude, but it should be effective. So what we're going to do is we're going to give these pirates their own carrier ship off towards the other side of the island. Because I want them to have something to stand on, and it's going to be way out here, the player's going to be here, and I doubt anyone is ever going to be able to see it. So what we want to do is we want to get this group over here for now. So let's see. We need to make sure that they land on top of the deck, of course. Let's see, and I guess we didn't turn on snapping. Now they snap. Alright, cool. So they have their own little islands, and I gave everybody a name. So we have Pirates 2 through to 5 for now, or Pirates 6 actually. And I gave them all some equipment. So they're all just civilians for now, and they're going to have to switch sides as well. But these pirates, I gave them some equipment. I gave them balaclavas so that they are not recognizable. Everybody has some different clothes, some weapons, a different backpack, because I want them to look like a ragtag group and not like an organized military force that is going to help us out. So now that we have this, there's not a thing that we need to do. We need to go back to the island. Let's see. Right, yeah. And I wanted them to start over here, but I only want them to move here a little bit later. And to do that, we're going to use markers. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit. And I'm just going to use something that is, let's see, dot. Let's see, marker 1. Do we have anything called marker 1? I don't think so. Nope. We'll have marker 2. 3, 4, and 5, because I think we have 5 guys in the group. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yes. Alright, cool. And then this is of course going to be marker 2, marker 3, marker 4, and marker 5. Now another thing that we want to do, which I forgot to do earlier, is we want to create a marker for the fuel truck, because I forgot all about that. So we're going to be placing a marker here as well. Let's see, we want to have objective. We're going to place it right there. The color will be red, marker will be fuel, text will be fuel truck. Now, someone in the comments pointed out that to make the markers invisible, you can actually use this here as well. Marker style, color red, and then we have the alpha, which is the transparency. And if you set it all the way to 0, well, it becomes invisible as well. And then later on, we can have the visibility set to 1. But I started doing this in the init.sqf, and I prefer it that way because it's a little bit easier for me to keep track of the list of things that are invisible. So I already showed you how I did that in previous videos, and I'm going to assume that you already saw those. But I'm going to do that same thing over here. Let's see, markers, where did my marker go, by the way? There. Ah, it's already invisible, right. That's already very annoying. I guess that's on the downside. I didn't know that, but now that we set it to 0, you can see it's actually invisible. That's very bad. I prefer the list, and to keep these things visible while we're still here. So this is something I'm going to do in my own free time, is I'm going to make all of these things invisible. Right. So then another thing that we need is we need to have a reminder that, let's see, fuel truck present. Let's call this present 1. If you want help, you can call in my friends by radio. Right. So we're going to create another trigger, and I guess we're going to place that over towards this center of the island here. And this will be radio delta, because I don't think we have it anymore. Let's see, where are all our triggers? Truck kill 1. Right, this is set to Delta. No. That one is already gone, I think. So, trigger Delta. Damn it. Still the wrong one selected. Alright. Call Pirates 1. Text. Call in your new pirate friends. Radio Delta. On activation, it's not going to be anything else. Alright, now that we have a marker, we should sync this to, let's see, fuel truck present 1. Did that succeed? No. Let's try it one more time. Doesn't seem to work. Alright, maybe create another trigger. Fuel truck present 2. Condition trigger activated. Fuel truck present 1. There's going to be a delay of 2 seconds. And this should really work, I think. Maybe it didn't work because the other trigger was already synced up to something else. Interesting. That is annoying. Because I want this to be hidden until, well, until we can get this thing. So maybe actually we should use this instead. Trigger activated. Fuel. What was it called again? Truck present 1. Yeah. And then we can forget about the newly created trigger. Like so. Alright. So, then we're going to use something else. And this is a little script that I need to find. So give me 1 second. Alright. So I got our little code. I'm going to paste it right now. It is, well, the name of the unit. So we have Pirate 2, for example. Set pos. Get marker pos, name of your marker. So this will be marker 1. Now we will have 5 pirates in total. So that's pirate 3, 4, 5, 6, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then the second one is of course going to go to marker 2, marker 3, marker 4, and marker 5. Right, I've also made sure that they're all set to invisible. And now we need to do several other things. I think what we want to do here is we want to give these guys a waypoint. So let me fly over to where our pirates are. They're over here. Right. They're pretty far away, so it's kind of hard to tell. But yeah, let's see. These guys will have a move waypoint right here. We're going to open that up, and let's see, we should be able to give this one a name as well, I think. Description, identified. Is there a way to do that? Doesn't look like there is. I thought there was going to be, but apparently it's not, because then I wanted them to hold a position here, and I was going to delete this waypoint upon teleporting them over. But apparently, system name of the waypoint used for okay, so it's called something different here. So let's see, pirate point 1. Right, and we're going to fly back to the island. We're going to give them a second waypoint right there, and from there they should move up to attack the base. And I guess they can move up through the hills, then in here, 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 and here, and then they can end up right there. So they make a nice little path through the woods, or through the base, essentially. Right. So the first trigger that they have, we should make sure that it is deleted. And actually, yeah, I need to fly back to the island again. I think the best way to go about that is to create a trigger. We're going to place that like so. Activation will be civilian presence. Pirate teleported. Right, and in condition it's just going to be this. And on activation, delete vehicle pirate point 1. That should delete their first waypoint, so that they don't try to move away. And yeah, then that first waypoint should be waiting for something else as well. Let's see. Yeah, this definitely should not be out in the ocean. It should definitely be right in front of where they are actually at, which is still not happening by the looks of it. How the hell? Oh man, this doesn't make any sense to me, this 3D space. Jesus. Right, cool. Now it's where it's supposed to be. Condition, trigger activated. Let's see. Delta. Oh, like we want to have the radio. Let's give this a name for now so that we can close it. Call your new pirate's friend. Pirate friend. Call pirates 1. That is what they should wait for, I think. As you can see, things are becoming rapidly more difficult. But anyway, these guys are now over here. And actually, we might want to test this by deleting this for a second now. This is going to be called this. And I'm going to play from here. Alright, so we're at the road. These guys teleported in. What the hell? Why are these guys my enemies? That is so weird. Alright. Let us see. They moved in at least, which is good. But now they've joined the enemy team, which is not good. I have no idea why they wanted to attack me. They're civilians, they're supposed to be neutral. And just giving them weapons should not actually make them do anything, I think. But at least I'm glad that this works. So you can open up this thing again and paste this stuff back in. So trigger activated, fuel truck present 1. So only after we bring the fuel truck can we actually do this. Right. So then these guys are in. Their waypoint should be deleted, but maybe we should place down a civilian to test this from. We will play as this character. Alright. Ah, right, it doesn't work. Doesn't work yet, and it's still visible. Interesting. This should be invisible. Well, I'm going to have to try to figure that out, but let us try one more time. Right, that works. Now I'm curious to see where these guys are going. Right, their first waypoint got deleted. Now they're moving up the hill. And they should start to attack. Cool. So now that we know that this is working, we should also make sure that these guys actually join our team. Which is a little bit harder to do, I think. How are we going to do this? Because I want these guys to stay in their own group. I guess what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to create a separate guy. Or, you know what? Let me think for this about. Let me think about this for a second. Alright, so I figured out what I'm going to do. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create, let's see, a team leader from CSAT. Jesus Christ. Oh man, really? There we go. We're going to put him on deck and we're going to switch clothes for him. But first we're going to call him SL2. Okay. Now, this guy is going to be the one with the waypoints. Because what happened was I wanted these guys, or at least I tried, letting them join SL1 and then join a group of their own. But what it did was it destroyed all of their waypoints. And then I tried setting a waypoint for them using a marker on the enemy base, but then they just started running off in the distance somewhere, which is really unfortunate. So we're going to have team leader SL2 from CSAT, so they don't need to change sides, and this guy can have waypoints on his own, and then he will just carry them out. So let's see, this guy was a sergeant, he will now just be a private again. This guy should be a sergeant, so that he will be in charge. Right, so what we're going to do is, let's see, we had trigger start 1. We're going to open this up, and I already changed it so that pirate 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 all join SL2. Right, so at the start of the mission, these guys will join him. And this guy will have one waypoint right there. And this one is going to wait for trigger activated. Let's see, what was it again? Fuel truck present 1, yeah. And of course, this one is going to need a name. Pirate move 1. And then his next move is going to be on the island. Let's see. Right there. And then we're going to have him go up here, here, inside, etc, etc, etc. He's going to go in a full circle. There we go. This one, he is okay, he doesn't need to wait. We're going to add a trigger set to 100 meters with up for present condition SL2 in this list. So it doesn't matter if the player comes in here, it only matters if SL2 ends up in this list. And he should. Yeah. Alright, so what we're also going to need is we're going to need another marker. We're going to have 6 after all now. So marker 6. This radio is going to change, or at least add on to have SL2 go to marker pause 6. Alright. Now, we can test this out. So we will be playing as this character. He should not want to move right now. And then we can radio, call in your pirate friends. Man down? Really? What the hell? Why is he dead? That doesn't make any sense. What the hell? Ah, right. They were trying to kill him because they're enemies. Right, oh, and I forgot to do something. Because at this point he still wants to go back. So in this trigger, up for presence, on activation, delete vehicle. Let's see. What was it called again? Pirate Move 1 or something? Let's see. SL2. Pirate Move 1, yes. So this one is going to be destroyed. Let us try one more time. Ah, and now I remember what happened. Now I know what happened. They tried to shoot this guy, right? So, because he is CSAT. But first let us check. That is why he ended up dead. Right, so he's dead again already. And these guys are in combat mode. Right. Problems, man. Testing these missions can be so hard. Alright. So this guy should be out of sight. For a second at least. Alright, where did your move waypoint go to? Ah, right. We also don't want this. Right. Jesus. Alright. Camera. Real time. Jesus Christ. Alright, so now these guys joined his team. They still try to shoot him through the building, which is really annoying. Alright, so this guy is just holding where he is right now. Man. Maybe if we do this, this set, we need a prisoner, hostage. What was it again? Jesus, I forgot already. We have prisoner, set captive, right. So, this set captive, true. Now once he's on the island, we're going to set that to false. SL2, set captive false. Hint present. Because I want to make sure that this trigger actually works. Alright.
Ready.
All right. For some reason, this guy isn't moving yet, which is very strange. But let's see. His next waypoint should have a name as well, I guess. Let's see. Waypoint 2. And then SL2 set waypoint 2. Like this? No? Really? Jesus. Let me check this out. Alright, so we should use the group name. We don't have that yet, but for now, I had a bit of text. So we have group, set current waypoint group, and then 1, I guess. So group will be pirate. Group pirate. And then maybe 2 or 1, I don't know. This should be 1, yeah. Alright, and then of course we're going to find the group of SL2. Variable name pirate. Let's try this one more time.
Ready.
برو موقعیت 973 983.
Huh. Interesting. Alright. Turns out I was way overcomplicating things, and I've actually made it work pretty easily. I deleted the waypoint that he had over here, and I simply used this disable AI move. That means that he can't move, he's just going to stay put. And then once he is teleported, he ends up on the island. Let's see, it's over here. Once he is present, he will no longer be a captive, and he's enabled to move again. And that means he will simply move over to the next waypoint, which is first off right here. And then he's just going to keep moving and moving and moving until he gets up to the base. So we can check this. Radio, call in your new pirate friends. Now he's here, he's moving, and he's moving in the correct direction. Alright. So all that's left to do is, of course, we're going to have to change him to look like a pirate, because this won't do. Yeah, and then I need to find a way to make sure that this radio is invisible. Which I'm not entirely sure yet how to do, because I thought that simply, let's see, radio delta, oh, wait a second. Yeah, true, trigger activated, fuel, truck, presence 1. But that still doesn't fix my problem. Right, because it's still in the list. You simply can't use it yet. But I do want it to be hidden, so yeah. I have to figure this out, but I will do this for the next video. Maybe you guys can tell me. This video has gone on for long enough. So, please leave a like and a comment below if you enjoyed this content and want to see more. And I'll see you guys for the next video.